talent alone is not enough to get you there. One singular architecture for being a formidable force manifests unfulfilled dreams for high-capacity people. Because greatness has a pattern, and patterns can be learned. Hey everybody, how you doing? Arnie Cap here. Welcome back to A Formidable Life. Here we're going to be talking about why high-capacity people sometimes stall in their efforts to reach their potential. Now, a lot of high-capacity people are relying heavily on talent. And what I can tell you is if you look at some of the great accomplishments in life, whether it be sports, whether it be music, whether it be writing, whether it be in business, it doesn't matter. Talent alone is not enough to get you there. The blacktops around the country are loaded with talented people who never could make it through to be elite level or even league level players, right? But they're super talented. So why do they stall? So today's video, we're going to talk about 7 elite athletes and the architecture that they use to become the greatest of all time within their particular space. Now, you probably already know these names: Serena Williams, Tiger Woods, Tom Brady, Jerry Rice, Wayne Gretzky, Simone Biles, Michael Jordan. 7 different sports, 7 unique journeys, but one common operating system. One singular architecture for being a formidable force in their space. Now, I chose this as the next video in the series because the Adam that I know fancies himself an athlete. And maybe you do too. Back in the day, Adam had dreams of going big league, until the drift happened. But what Adam is beginning to realize is that it's certainly not too late to think like a premier athlete, evoke the discipline of champions, and take his place on the wall of fame on whatever it is that he's pursuing at this point. Now, could Adam suddenly return to sports? Sure he could. Maybe not as a player, but in some capacity, I'm sure. It's just a question of creating the architecture from success traits because they are critical architectural elements of what formidable companies do to scale up and what the GOATs of athletics do to become fierce competitors. So in the next few minutes, I'm going to break down 7 very common thread patterns the GOATs of sports follow that you can leverage as well. Maybe not on a court or field, but in your work, in your craft, in your life. The architecture is undeniable, and that's exactly what we dig into on this channel, one that manifests unfulfilled dreams for high-capacity people. Now, a common thread throughout this channel is that without a clear success blueprint, sustainable growth is nearly impossible. These athletes that I'm going to talk about today show what happens when your operating system is built to win and how you can scale that into your life. Their stories are unique, and the specifics may vary. Methods may appear different, but the pattern, the architecture, it's undeniable. Now, the goal here isn't to show you how to become a professional athlete. It's to recognize that this architecture at scale can expand who you desire to become and be used to secure success for what your burning passion and purpose are. All right, so let's start off with talking about self-worth. When Tom Brady was drafted, he was 199th. He didn't wait for a starting jersey to tell him that he was a franchise quarterback. He showed up on day 1 behaving like the leader he intended to become. His self-worth wasn't tied to his draft position. It was tied to his internal blueprint. Self-worth is deciding who you are long before the scoreboard or the corporate ladder or the world agrees. Next is commitment. And we're going to talk about Serena Williams here. Serena Williams was overcoming the odds from the very beginning. She didn't have just aspirational goals. She faced a world that told her the odds were against her from day 1. Now, commitment isn't about testing the waters to see if a project works. It's an unrelenting pursuit that removes the option of retreat. Serena's architecture was built on a commitment that didn't negotiate with the circumstances. Next is rituals. And we're going to talk about Jerry Rice here. Jerry Rice, the guy who ran routes over and over and over again until he created a muscle memory that turned it into a discipline. He was building muscle memory so deep that his body could execute the strategy without his mind getting in the way. Now I want to talk about Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods and self-awareness. At the height of his dominance, Tiger Woods did something unthinkable. He tore down his winning swing to build a better one. He had the radical honesty to realize that his current infrastructure couldn't support the next level of his potential. Being that aware is unbelievable. Awareness is leveraging data to tell yourself the truth faster than anyone else can. Next, I want to talk about Michael Jordan and training. Michael Jordan practiced like it was championship day every day. Training isn't just time spent doing drills. It's discomfort chosen on purpose. Michael Jordan was famous for practicing with the same veracity that he used in the NBA Finals. He did it every day. He didn't practice what was comfortable. He practiced what changed him, what challenged him. For the architect, training is the load testing phase. You don't wait for the crisis to see if your systems hold up. Wayne Gretzky, connection. Now, greatness is rarely a solo endeavor. Connection is the network infrastructure of a formidable life. Wayne Gretzky wasn't just a great skater or stick handler. He had a supernatural awareness of team architecture. He didn't know just where the puck was going. He knew where his teammates would be. Leveraging connection isn't a sign of weakness. It's a sign of strategic wisdom. You cannot scale a billion-dollar brand or a formidable life on your own. And finally, Simone Biles. What a great story. Love for the sport, happiness. This is really her protocol. After everything she had achieved and the immense toll it took on her, Simone Biles returned to the sport, not for more gold, although that would happen, but for the love of the craft. Without the protocol of joy and happiness and realized purpose, the architecture eventually collapses under its own weight. Success without happiness is just a high-end prison. Purpose is the fuel that makes the entire system sustainable. So here's the thing. These protocols don't work in isolation. They are intrinsically interlocked as part of the architecture of success. Self-worth without commitment stalls. Awareness without training limits you. Success without happiness empties you out. But together they compound, not into trophies, but into realized identity. This architecture isn't about replicating talent or circumstances. It's about adopting protocols, the way you think, train, commit, and tell yourself the truth. And when you get there, the ceiling of what's possible changes. Not because you're special, but because greatness has a pattern, and patterns can be learned. I'm Arnie Cap. Thanks for watching. Thanks for sharing.